Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be talking about episode 11 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And in this episode, the whole idea is conflict resolution. Beginning of the episode, Katara and Sokka were both having a conflict. One was tasked with putting together the tent, and he was doing it incorrectly. Of course, it's Sokka. He's just lazy. And Katara, she didn't get enough wood. And they started arguing and getting mad at each other. And Aang went in the middle as Avatar and resolved it by getting them to switch tasks. From here, we end up in this place called the Great Divide, and the Great Divide is exactly what you're thinking. It's a giant Grand Canyon that is basically dividing two sides of this mountain. And we see two tribes. At first, it's this older looking gentleman with very nice clothes. He has a beard. He's just dressed really nice, should I say. And out of nowhere comes these barbaric looking people, and how would you know that they have history with the others? So they're kind of fighting. In order to cross this, you need a tour guide that knows earthbending, and well, you have only one old guy, and he's trying to take one tribe. So you have the Jings and the Ganjans, and they're just conflicting the whole time. So Aang has to settle this conflict to begin with. He basically they're trying to figure out like who's more important, who should go first, because they don't want to go together. So what Aang does is he takes one of their sick people, and then the others elders, and they make way to the other side of the mountain, and boom, that solves that part. From there, they get ready to cross, but before they cross, they're told that they can't have any type of food. They have to eat it beforehand or discard it. And so we're believed that they discard the food, but there's coming a plot twist. As they're making their way down the mountain, he's using his earthbending, and out of nowhere, this giant thing just attacks, and it flies up a bunch of dust. Avatar uses his windbending, and he throws the dust away, and we see it's like a giant ant or termite, and it attacks our tour guide, and now they're stuck down there without a tour guide. They eventually get this thing to go away because it just wants food. It doesn't really care about the people until it becomes its last resource. So he has broken arms, their tour guide does, and they're stuck. So you have the Jings and Ganjans. I might get this a little wrong, the two different sides of the story. You can always double check. There's a history video to more specifically know what's going on with these two tribes and their conflict. But basically, one tribe had a sacred ball, and they were traveling towards a western gate or an eastern gate, and in this ritual, this ball has to glow in this like beam of light, I guess by the sun, to the ball, and out of nowhere the other tribe has a thief that steals it and runs away with it, and eventually he gets caught and imprisoned, which is the other story. The other story is that one of them takes the ball, and they don't take the ball. What they did was they tried to help the guy that fell down and get the ball and take it to the other village, but they got wrongfully arrested. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it was a lot of information being fed in once, and I didn't take a lot of notes for this episode. I just wanted to give you the quick version of the conflict. So you have the Ganjans and the Jangs, and yeah, what happens is after the tour guide gets his arm broken, they conflict, they're fighting, they're arguing, and the big argument is who took the food? Who took the food? So Aang, he gets upset and uses his bending and basically says, hey, we're going to divide. So there's two sides, and both the tribes are going to take their own way. But they're still going to meet the same end, right? They're still going to have to meet up. So from there, Katara goes with the nicely neat ones, and Sokka, of course, goes with the sloppy ones. And we figure out from both their stories that both of them wronged each other, and both of them also snuck in meat and other foods. So both of them are wrong in the situation. Both of them did terrible. And whenever they get to the end, that's whenever we get to the part where Sokka and Katara are fighting over who's right. Because in this whole idea, both of them look like they're right. Anyway, from there, both the tribe leaders start fighting each other, and they cut off each other's facial hair so you can get a better look. The barbaric ones, their village leader is a lady, and she has like ponytail, or not ponytails. She's got like this weird haircut where it's just like two things up here. I don't know what you would call it. I'm not too knowledgeable in that. So anyway, she gets her hair cut, just like the right side of it, and then the other older, higher class guy, he gets his beard cut off. And Aang's just trying to solve this conflict. He finally uses his air and pushes them away. And out of nowhere, a big infestation of all these ant things come. And now we know that every single one of them has food because it's just dumped everywhere. So they're still fighting, and Aang comes up with a resolution. He basically says, follow me, and he gives food to these ant things basically and puts a bag over their head because they have bags where they've taken food. And he gets all of them to work together, and they end up implementing the same task. And yeah, Aang then gets a sack of food. He takes his staff, puts it in front of him, and they all follow that sack of food, and they get up the mountain. So there we go. And they're still fighting on the top of the mountain. They try to fight again, and Aang stops it by telling them a story about how both of these people from these stories were actually 8 years old, and they were just playing a game. And in this game, it was kind of like soccer but with hands. One of them took the ball and he ran out of bounds, and then he got put into a penalty box. So he was trying to make it. No one got imprisoned. And then in the end, Aang resolves them, and they're like happy to be with each other, and they travel as one pack. And to come to find out, plot twist, Aang lied about the whole thing. And the reality is that one of them really did steal, probably, more than likely. And the other one, I guess the other one had this orb ritual. It was a weird episode, but it was also, an important passing, and he saved another group of people from hating each other. And he made a unity, because the Avatar, he brings unity, he solves conflicts, and yeah, that's one step closer to become the Avatar. I'm sorry there's not a more in-depth, because I was just confused on who's what, and then I would have to start naming their head villagers. But in that story that Aang gave them, they were both brothers, so that's why they packed together, is because they're just brothers, and no one got wrongfully imprisoned, just so you guys know to double check. Tell me how you guys feel about Avatar: The Last Airbender episode 11. This was interesting, but was it my favorite of all time? No. I'm going to give this one a flat, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I just didn't enjoy it the most out of all the episodes I've watched so far. It was a resolution episode, but it wasn't one that I was like wowed away with. And it's not supposed to be. I thought Aang demonstrated what he needed to, but I don't think he needed a whole episode for it. I didn't think he needed a foreshadow and all of that to go into it. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys stay safe, and peace.